I received a letter from my German health insurance company that said I owed them thousands of euros due immediately. And from that point forward, every month, I would have to send them hundreds of additional euros on top of the nearly 8% of my salary that I was already paying them for health insurance. Health insurance that I didn't really need. All of this because I made one mistake. I got a job in Germany after I retired. So today I want to share with you my story of why I no longer work in Germany. If you've watched our channel before, you may already know that Betty and I are retired Americans living in Germany. We originally came to Germany in the 1990s with the US military, and we quickly fell in love with the country, and it's felt like a second home to us. But I always wondered, what would it really be like to live in Germany as a normal resident without all the benefits that come with being stationed here with the NATO forces? So when I retired from the US military, I got the chance to find out. I was offered a job teaching English for the German military, the Bundeswehr. It sounded like a great job, so I accepted. All right, so this is a big cultural difference between the United States and Germany. So in the US, it's very common for someone to work and retire from one career and then later in life start a second career. And there's many reasons for this. Sometimes financial, sometimes for health insurance. Sometimes people just don't know what to do. I mean, they worked all their lives. They have that grind mentality when all they do is work. They have no hobbies, and then when work is over, when they're retired, they don't know what to do. So they go back to work. Now in Germany, that's much less likely to happen because culturally Germans they learn how to love life itself and not love work so much like we do in the United States. So they have hobbies, they spend time with their families. So when they retire and they enjoy their life. They don't go back to work very often. And when I told German friends that I was gonna start a new job after I retired from one job, a lot of them looked at me like I was kind of crazy. So the first surprise came immediately when I accepted the position. I was told by my employer that I had to sign up for German public health insurance. Even though I already had health insurance as part of my retirement package from the military. And that's one of the great benefits of a career with the US military is that upon retirement, you get health insurance for you and your family for the rest of your life. And they happen to have an international plan that works in Germany. So the Ausländerbehörde, the immigration office in Germany, accepted that health insurance plan as meeting all legal requirements for health insurance in Germany. So I thought I was good to go, but my employer said, no, you have to get health insurance. Now, I think part of the reason is because legally, your employer is required to pay half of your health insurance premium, which is about 15% of your salary. And to be honest, I think it was just the easy way out for them. I think instead of trying to figure out how we both could avoid that payment, for them it was just easier to say, no, you got to get public health insurance, and that was it. So I had health insurance already, but I had to get public health insurance. And after initial shock, I kind of thought, okay, if you're going to live in Germany and you're going to be a resident, I mean, that's part of the package, right? To really see what it's like. So I was like, okay, so I got public health insurance, paid into it, and really had no issues with it. So like I said, my health insurance premium was about 15% of my salary. I paid half, my employer paid half, and I also paid into a retirement insurance plan. I paid into long care insurance plan, and I think there was something else. There's like several different types of insurances that you have to pay into. You don't really have a choice. And I didn't have any issue with it. I kind of admire the German attitude of solidarity, where everyone pays into the system so everyone can benefit out of it. So if you have German health insurance and you lose your job, you don't lose your health insurance, unlike in the United States. So that's very good. And I find that a lot of people don't mind making those payments when they know even if they don't go to the doctor very often, they know that they're helping out their fellow man. And I really kind of like that attitude. So we paid into it, and and it didn't really bother us. All right, so, and I also want to talk about the health care we received in the German public health insurance system. We thought it was great. We had no problems. We found an English-speaking Hausarzt, or primary care physician, I guess you might say. They were great. We never had a problem getting an appointment. Even for specialty care, we never had to wait very long. We were very happy, and we thought the quality of care was excellent as well. So yeah, we were really happy with our public health insurance plan. Then, so I worked about 6 months, really enjoying the job, and then I received the first letter from my health insurance company. Kind of seemed a little strange to me, but they asked a simple question: did I receive a pension from a foreign country? And I thought, well, this is kind of strange, but I guess they figured, well, this guy is old, he's from a foreign country, he's just now starting a career in Germany, so maybe he receives a pension from a foreign country. Now, my military pension, it's not taxed in Germany. I pay taxes on it in the United States, so I didn't really think it would be an issue. So I was like, okay, honesty is the best policy. I'm not going to hide it from them. So I said, yes, I do receive a pension, and they wanted to know how much it was. So I told them how much I received, and like I said, I didn't think it would really be a problem. All right, so if you're enjoying this video and you're finding it useful, do us a big favor. Hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button, and consider subscribing to our channel, because it really helps promote the channel, and it helps us to continue making useful videos like this. All right, then a few weeks later, I got the big shock. I received a second letter from my health insurance company that said I owed them 3,200 euro in back payments. And from that point forward, I would have to make an additional payment of 924 euros every month. Now, this is in addition to the almost 8% of my salary that I was already paying for public health insurance. So again, this is health insurance that I didn't really need because I already had health insurance, that I was paying, 8% of my German salary for this health insurance, and now they're telling me that I have to start paying about 18% of my retirement pension into health insurance. So basically, I was paying for 2 different health insurance policies at the same time. All right, so I thought, this can't be right. There has to be some sort of a mistake, right? So the first thing I did, I contacted 2 other American retirees that I knew who were working in Germany. And I asked them, I was like, hey, do you pay anything towards your health insurance based upon your US pension? And they both said no. They said they'd never been contacted by their health insurance company asking about their pension. So I was like, okay. So then I contacted 2 different law firms. One of them specializes in helping Americans living in Germany navigate all of the legal hurdles that come from life living in Germany. And the other one specializes in helping people with issues with German health insurance companies. So these were exactly the 2 people I needed. So I enlisted their help. They both looked into it. I gave them all the documents. And then a couple weeks later, they both came back and said, yep, the health insurance company is right. You have to pay this extra money based upon your military pension into the German public health insurance system. And they both also said, despite what the other 2 retirees said, they told me it was a very good thing that I was honest and upfront about how much my pension is, because they said if the insurance company found out later that I was receiving a pension and they didn't know about it, then I could receive big legal and financial penalties based upon my German health insurance. All right, so then I thought, well, what about private health insurance, which is basically what I already had from my military retirement. Now in Germany, there's really 2 different types of health insurance. You have the public health insurance, which is what I had based upon my employment in Germany. And like I said, that you pay 15% of your salary is paid for the premium. You pay half, your employer pays half. But then when you get sick, when you go to the doctor or whatever, you pay basically nothing. So it works really well in that aspect. And also, if you happen to lose your job for some reason, you still keep your health insurance, which is really nice. I wish that was the case in the United States as well. Now, private health insurance, the premiums are much lower, much lower. But when you do go to the doctor, you pay a much higher copay. Now, to enroll in private health insurance in Germany, your salary has to be above a certain threshold. So not everyone can enroll into the private health insurance system. You have to have a certain amount of money to be able to enroll into it. So my military pension and my German salary combined put me well above that threshold to qualify for private health insurance. So I asked the legal team, I said, so can I just sign up for private health insurance? And they both said, unfortunately, no. Even though the health insurance company can use my retirement pay to factor in how much I have to pay for the public health insurance, I cannot use that to qualify myself for private health insurance. That doesn't make sense, does it? All right, so let me summarize this again. So I have health insurance that works in Germany as part of my retirement pension. But I'm working in Germany, so I'm required to pay into the public health insurance system. Now, since I have a pension, retirement pension, I have to include that in factoring how much I pay for my premiums in the public health insurance system. So it counts for that, but it does not factor in to qualifying me for the private health insurance system. It just doesn't make sense. Both legal teams said that's just how the German health insurance system works. Okay, so the big decision. So I paid the back pay, and then every month I paid the 924 additional euros for public health insurance. I loved the job. I liked it so much that Betty got a job and started working there too. We had great bosses. We had great colleagues. We really enjoyed our students. We had great work-life balance. So many things we enjoyed about the job. But every month when I transferred that 924 euros to my insurance company, it made justifying staying in that position really hard. Yeah, so our health insurance works great. Sometimes we pay the complete cost up front, like I did in my emergency room visit in Bremen last summer. We pay the total cost up front, and then we send the bill to our insurance company for reimbursement. Sometimes the clinic will simply send it, will charge our insurance company for us, and we really don't have to mess with it. It just depends on where we go, if the clinic is accustomed to using our type of insurance or not. But it's worked out great. We've been to the doctor several times, even had surgery, and that worked well as well. So we've had no issues using this insurance in Germany. So in the end, we didn't leave Germany. We just don't work here anymore. And to be honest, life is really good. We have a really good time. We're really enjoying things. But if you're a retiree and you're thinking about getting a job in Germany, make sure you know how the health insurance system works, because it may end up costing you a lot of money in the long run. Now, if you're thinking about moving to Germany and becoming a resident here, check out this video, and it'll help you navigate the hurdles to getting German residency. All right, thanks for watching.